Hello and welcome back to yet another Trove video on the channel. It is LateCom here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the most profitable plant in Gardening 2.0 in Trove. And I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this video, so it's finally here. And I guess enjoy, sit back, relax, and let's begin with the video. So to prepare for this video, right, I actually have got a Google Sheets created for the sake of this video. So let's head on over onto the Google Sheets and let's take a look just to show you guys how my Google Sheets works, so that you guys can also make a copy of it and use it on your own, so that you will never ever have to ask me about what the most profitable plant will be after this video. So heading on over onto LateCom's Gardening 2.0 calculator, as you can see right here, we have got all of the seed types from Cinnabar all the way down to Nitro, and we have got the ore price, the cost per seed, the total cost it takes for you to upkeep the seeds for 15 days, the total amounts of these Cinnabars or whatever ores you'll be getting at after like 15 days if you're using a golden watering can, because obviously if you're gardening 2.0, you gotta use a golden watering can in order to get that additional juicy yield. So with that being said, as you can see right here, we have got a lot to unpack. There are going to be quite a number of different columns, so we're going to be going through each and every one of these individually, right? So as you can see, we have the ore price. This is where you're going to actually put in your flux amounts, and based on the marketplace price, basically, if you check the market, you're seeing like 30 flux each, then head on over onto the ore price, set it at 30, and you will be able to see the rest of these items. And not to mention, there are going to be some miscellaneous items as well that will be required when it comes to crafting your seeds. But the thing with these is, you know, stuff like the moonlight bulbs and the concentrated compost are a little subjective. Stuff like crystals as well, because you can't actually list these stuff on the marketplace. They might be different, so feel free to put your own prices. Everything that's on the yellow boxes is stuff that you have to enter in based on the market price. So these ones are going to change, but pretty much everything else will not, right? So with that being said, after we get the ore price, there is going to be the cost per seed. You might be taking a look here. There is going to be a couple of mumbo jumbo. You don't really have to care about that, because it's pretty much stuff that I have made in preparation for you guys to make use of, because you guys are just so lazy. You don't want to calculate, and yeah, I've done the dirty work for you guys here. So now, as you can see right here, the cost per seed is basically just taking the crafting cost based on all of the materials prices, and then just calculating and multiplying all of them together. And this total cost is what it would cost if you were to use a golden watering can. So you already probably know that golden watering cans are going to water in a 3x3 range. So that's going to water up to a total of 9 different plants. So if you water up to 9 plants, you're pretty much just dividing the price of a can up to 9 times and just adding it up with the total cost per seed in order to obtain the total price that it would cost for you to grow a seed from beginning to the end of those 15 days, okay? And of course, harvest yield is pretty much the amount of the ores that you'll be getting every harvest. And of course, you're going to be harvesting every single Gardening 2.0 plant 5 times. So it's pretty much just a multiplying of 5 times of the harvest yield. Pretty much everything else is the same. And for the revenue, it's pretty much the ore price multiplied by the total harvest yield. This is basically the amount of flux that you will be obtaining after you plant this seed. So as you can see, the total cost is going to exceed the revenue. So you're going to be losing flux if you plant Cinnabar right now, based on the current prices that the market actually has. So the funny thing about this is I have also added a moonlight bulb counter. So let's say you're farming 500 moonlight bulbs per hour, right? And if, let's say, you're planting all of your Cinnabar seeds with those 500 moonlight bulbs, you'll be losing a total of 2.8 million flux every hour after 15 days if you actually plant Cinnabar. So that is going to be pretty interesting and pretty hilarious, to say the least, because you're going to be requiring like 7.3 million flux to plant like 500 of these Cinnabar seeds, and you'll be obtaining a return of like 5 million plus minus, and losing like literally 2.8 million every hour. So you probably already know that this is pretty much not going to be worth it at all. So this is pretty much how you use my gardening calculator. You just input your own values. I mean, just make a copy, I guess. File, make a copy, and then you will be able to use this on your own whenever, wherever. Because all of these items, as you can see right here, I've already done the math. I've already put all of the formulas for these items, and it's going to work easily. Now, you might be taking a look at this little disclaimer right here. The reason why I don't actually put profit per bulb is because moonlight bulbs actually come at a price. If you farm 500, let's say, you can actually sell those 500 bulbs for, you know, at 1.5k each. Sometimes, depending on the market price, right? So I'm factoring that in as an expense as well, because you have the opportunity to sell that straight up for Flux instead of crafting the seeds. So that's pretty much my mentality when it comes to calculating the amounts that you gain when it comes to, you know, crafting these seeds, planting and harvesting them. So do note that, you know, this is just a personal preference of mine. If you'd like to find out, you know, how much it costs per moonlight bulb, then go on ahead and create your own version of my spreadsheet. But of course, as of right now, this is probably the best one that I can think of. So there's one thing that you guys might need to factor in when it comes to calculating the profits, and it is whether you can actually sell it at that market price or not, because you're not actually guaranteed to sell these ores at the ore price. Sometimes it's gonna take a little hard to sell, people might undercut you over time, and prices might just drop. Like as you can see right here, Gleamstone at 7 Flux, it really isn't usually at 7 Flux. Same goes for other stuff like, what else? Instagrower at 600. Usually you see this at like 300 Flux. But, you know, sometimes they don't really sell well. So don't exactly take your numbers blindly from this spreadsheet. Do consider and do actually think whether you might be able to sell, because it's going to play a huge factor as well. If you are actually unable to sell those items at that given price for some reason because of the lack of demand for that item, then, you know, it might be better to craft something else. So as you can see right here, imagine if, let's say, we're going to be picking two different values that are close to each other, right? Let's say, you know what, we have the Instagrower and the Builderite. As you can see right here, we're seeing around 2.4 million profits and 2.2 million profits when it comes to 500 moonlight bulbs used. But the thing is, I'd say Builderite is going to be more in demand in comparison to Instagrower, and the fact that the Instagrower's price has pretty much doubled doesn't really help that. Well, it's not like the Builderite's price didn't actually double, but people are needing more Builderite these days, so I would say it would be more logical to pick the Builderite seed over the Instagrower seed, right? Because it's going to be way more profitable at the end of the day, because you're going to be able to sell more of these Builderites easily in comparison to Instagrower, because you wouldn't really want to hold a high inventory of Instagrower, because at the end of the day, everyone's getting them from the tome as well, every single week. So they might just list a couple just to undercut you even more, and you probably might just end up not being able to sell all of them, right? But as you can see right here, we also have got the Flux required column, which is pretty cool because you will be able to find out how much Flux you will need on top of that 500 moonlight bulbs that you have just farmed in order to, you know, obtain the amounts of seeds that you'd be getting with the moonlight bulbs you have. In which is going to bring us to the end of this video, where we're going to be taking a look at what the current best item is going to be. As you can see, there are going to be quite a number of negative values, but I believe as of right now, we're taking a look at stuff like Gleamstone and Daydrops. The investment will only require about 1.2 million Flux, and you'd be pretty much getting 2.2 million Flux for that 1.2 million Flux that you have invested. And not to mention, for the Daydrops as well, you'd be investing 2 million Flux and be getting 3.5 million back after 15 days. So pretty much these plants are going to be the most profitable ones right now. Not to mention Builderite is going to be a decent bit profitable as well. And stuff like Sunlight Bulbs is going to be quite profitable. And the rest of these are decently profitable, but, you know, not as noteworthy. So I hope that pretty much clears up all of your doubts. By the way, the links to the Google Sheet will be down in the descriptions below. Make sure you actually save your own copy and, you know, find out about the prices in the marketplace and just copy the prices of the marketplace, see how much you'd be able to get, you know, roughly as an estimate after using those marketplace prices. And all should be good. I hope you guys will be able to profit as much as possible if you're using this gardening sheet. And if there's anything wrong with it, feel free to comment down below and let me know, because I'm going to try to make the best gardening calculator as much as possible. So let me know if you'd like to find some, additional tweaks, whether I should add some different columns and stuff, just to let you guys be able to enjoy an easier calculator for this profits and stuff like that. I don't know. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys sometime soon. As usual, peace out.